It is time. Woo! Tis that time of year I like to affectionately call Fool's Autumn, where we all just collectively josh ourselves with every fiber of our being, pretend that we're not sweating out of every pore in our entire body. When you're watching this, it is September 1st, so happy crunchy spicy leaf time. But Rachel, autumn doesn't officially begin until September 20th. Phooey! I want to get a head start on Halloween decorations. One of my favorite videos I've ever done was from, 2021, where I went to the thrift store and I bought a bunch of decor that I viewed as shitty. And then I brought it home and I made it less shitty. So I thought we could do that, but for Halloween. Truly, you can make Halloween decorations out of any old damn thing. If that includes recycling what you already have, picking up really cheap items that you kind of put your own personal creepy touch on. I don't have a third reason, but I did not end point number 2 with a conclusive inflection, so I felt like I had to keep going. So, the plan, scoot on over to either 1 or 2 thrift stores, see what they have in terms of decor and what I can destroy. And we're just gonna have some nice cozy fun. Let's get spicy.
But first, a very necessary pit stop, because are you actually running errands if you don't get yourself a little special treat? The beginning of my scouting journey started with quite a few whimsical figurines and even some appropriately spooky items.
I come bearing trinkets. Let me show you my goodies. Things just got scholastic. Let's go over the plan. Number 1, the broom. Kind of cute and spooky already, but a little bit of work on the handle. Look a little bit more wooden and craggly, and then do a little paint job. The clock. I'm gonna make this into a really cute little bat-themed clock. So I'm gonna take the eagle off of the bottom, replace it with a little bat insignia, maybe some more bat-related decor around the rim of it, give it a good old gothic paint job. The little glass lantern showcase corgi thing. I'm going to make this into a little graveyard terrarium. So I have the gravestones that I grabbed from the little bundle bag. I have some moss that I just pretty much always have in my stash. You never know when you're gonna need it. And then finally, this is not from a thrift store, but something that you could definitely pick up at a thrift store. I always feel a sense of guilt when it comes to throwing away old candle jars. I have one that's just about, it's on its last legs, waxed legs. Redo into little apothecary jar. Specifically, I'm thinking of the one from Nightmare Before Christmas, the one that says frog's breath on it. So I'm gonna repaint it, make a little plaque for the front, and then I think I wanna make a fun little frog friend for the top, because apparently you can't have one of my videos without a frog reference. I don't know what has happened to me, but that is the plan. Tomorrow we're gonna start fresh. Let's freaking do it. Where shall we begin, you may ask yourself? I think I am probably gonna start with the broom. Ching. I woke up not that many hours ago. I need something a bit straightforward to fully wake up all 15 of my brain cells. They're sleepy. Price tag comes off. $3.49, baby. Not gonna do too much to this end of it, but as far as this end, the business end, going to take some foam clay, put it directly on it. What are we gonna do? That's right, we're gonna make it look like wood, because that is all I do on this channel. It's fine. Maybe a little crooked swamp witch broom, except very small. This is the equivalent of a Mini Cooper for a witch. Whoa, it's really compact. I'm gonna try this video effect I saw on TikTok once. I hope that looked cool. I've got this leftover foam clay from my dragon project, and so I don't know how much this is actually going to yield, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, there's not all that much. There's a squirrel yelling expletives at my window. Sir, why are you so angry? Quite simply, you just kind of strap it on now. Trying to do this as least suggestively as possible. Okay, and then I kind of want the end to be really bulked out. Yeah. It gets a little tricky putting this down because I don't want to squish any of it. Taking some tools, just start carving in some wood grain details. I'm gonna let this sit for now and wait for it to dry a little because I really can't do both sides. I probably should have just done this in a couple different steps, but I didn't, so let's move on. So just for so many silly giggles, I wanted to look up some inspiration for creepy clocks. I am yielding some eclectic results, and so I thought I would show you. Opening up ye old Pinterest. Well, starting off strong. If I had to dub this image, it would probably be and then we've got a lot of dolls and baby jail. Why does he look like that? He looked like me when Frodo wakes me up at 3 a.m. thrown up. It's got some spider webs. Spider webs is a good idea. I'm so angry. Sassy clock. Doesn't have time for your bullshit. Okay, cool. So I think what I'm gonna do, wing it, more specifically, bat wing it. Bat on the bottom here, maybe put another bat on top, maybe on bottom. I don't know if that's too many bats. Spider webs around the side. I am going to do my favorite thing in the world and mix some epoxy sculpt. Guys, I'm still running on the same container. Might as well just finish that off. Let's do it.
After sketching it out a little, I decided to put a raven on the bottom part of the clock. I just wanted to make Edgar Allan Poe proud. If by the rare chance you haven't seen me use epoxy sculpt before, you take part A and B, mix them together until it's one solid color. And then because it's so sticky and annoying, you can just sculpt right onto the object that you want sculpted on. Because I wanted the spider webs to be so thin, I drew them out and I decided just to use hot glue, and it worked out pretty dang good. After all the details were done, I let it set for 24 hours, and we're moving right along.
Welcome back. It is not cold enough to be wearing a sweatshirt of this magnitude quite yet, but you know, today's just not a great mental health day. What do we do to fight existential dread? We wear Halloween themed items and secret pants, and we make little froggy friends. Using a dummy candle for making my little frog friend. It's just a mason jar, but it has the same size opening as the candle I want to use. The candle I want to use is still burning that midnight oil. And by midnight, I mean noon. And by oil, I mean wax. I'm trying to get the wax as gone as I possibly can before I rinse it out. I don't know if you've ever seen like those little tea caddy mug friends who just kind of sit, but that's kind of the idea that I'm thinking. I feel like this is gonna be pretty dang simple. Just kind of have to make his little fake body out of aluminum foil. The same aluminum foil I've been using since 2014. It was my grandma's. I'm pretty sure it's from, 2008. February 14th, 2008. Aw, Valentine's Day aluminum foil. This is still going. It seems like it's probably gonna run out very soon, which is kind of sad. If this is the project that it runs out, so be it. I'm gonna make his little potato body out of that. Technically, only his little head is sticking out, and then like his little hands. Although I'm not gonna lie to you, the urge to make his whole body is very, very tempting.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it. Are you ever gonna see that? No, but it'll be our little secret. Oh, they're ready. My mood is just immediately brightened when I know that there's frogs involved. Just gotta make a little guy that fits, boop, right in there. Let's fight existential dread together. Ribbit. This is going to be extremely unpleasant. I'll put some soothing music over it. Still going, baby.
Update, I did use the last of it that week while cooking dinner. If we could just take a moment of silence.
And now I'm just gonna cover him in clay.
Lest we not forget two very important details. Alas, it was time to wistfully stare out the window and think upon my creation.
Good morning. Another day on this transformation project. There are a bunch of things all happening at the same time, so we're just gonna keep chipping away like I have been doing. The blessed little man is finally dry. Feast your eyeballs on this handsome boy. I'm so glad I used foam clay for this because he's just truly light as a feather. And I can hold him like this. Gone ahead, burned down the candle, added some hot water so I could get rid of the remaining wax and then all of the soot because it did in fact look like a Victorian chimney sweep. And I'm realizing we have a bit of an issue. Oops. Frick. Perhaps we use this so he doesn't actually fit that well in here either, but he does fit better than he does in the candle jar. Use this as the frog's breath jar. I will also do this one just as a different ingredient. That's just my gigantic cranium at work. The clock is ready to be painted. The broom is pretty much ready to go. The grooves are not quite as dramatic as I wanted, but I might go in with my Dremel, reinforce some of these grooves and grain marks. And then that's ready to be painted. And then all we have to do is work on the little terrarium. Paint the exterior, wait for that to dry, and then we can start kind of building the little environment on the inside. I really don't know what to do about this because it's so cute and I would feel so bad covering someone's paint. Remove this and have the front open so that way maybe some moss can be kind of coming out of it. We'll figure it out. We've got plenty to do today, so let's just get started. All right.
This easier, I took all of the glass panels out and started spray painting. And then because I already had it out, I decided to slap some onto the clock as well.
All right, I tore open my little bag of goodies just to take a little gander at what we got here. My general plan here, I'm gonna take the upholstery foam that I have in different levels to make it like a little bit hilly, glue the tombstones, glue some moss. I'm pretty excited about it because I think it should be a lot of fun. A little ooky spooky graveyard. Cut this a little so it's a bit more hilly. More hilly on one side. Look out, she's wild. Oh yeah. Ooh-wee. This is gonna be so cute. Let's get to gluing, shall we?
Much like the ground-dwelling creature that I am, I took some dirt from outside and laid it on there. This last tombstone was a little bit too big, so I did what anyone would do. Perfect. To finish up the paint job on the clock, I dry brushed some gray onto all of the details, and this really helped bring it out and make it look a little bit more old. I also finished up the paint job on the broom handle. And then, as if this montage wasn't chaotic enough, let's hop to a different project. I slapped on some epoxy sculpt onto these jars to make the labels. I wasn't really too concerned about this looking uniform. Honestly, the more handmade looking the better because it's Halloween. Once those babies cured for 24 hours, I brought them back to the spray paint area. Sloopity slapped some black on there. And then back to the paint area and used the handy dandy paper towel trick to give it a sort of stone effect.
Alright friends, after a whole day of bouncing around finishing all of this stuff up, I think everything is just about done. And so that only means all that's left is the reveal. Are you ready? Let's do it. All right, let's talk finished products. First up, the trusted mini broom. Overall, just a very, very simple project. The fake wooden handle here with all of the grooves in the top. And then the bristles, I didn't really change other than spraying a little bit of dark paint on there just because it was looking a little bit weird to have it dark up here and then light up here. Still lightweight, would love to just mount this somewhere, kind of like that. The nice thing about foam clay, if you're not satisfied with the dried product, you can go in and sand it down, which is exactly what I did. It made the world of difference. And it's durable. Ta-da! All right, next. Ta-da! I think this might be my favorite thing that I did in this project. I really, really love how it looks. The spider webs using hot glue worked out way better than I thought it would. And yeah, I just think it's really cute. The feminine urge to cover every single thing I own in whimsical little details, it's palpable. For grabbing this at the thrift store for $6, I'm super happy with it. The little jars. Now listen, I could have gone a lot more detailed and accurate on these babies to match the Nightmare Before Christmas, but I mean, this is totally fine. All I wanted to do was recycle a candle jar and I guess a mason jar as well. So yeah, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of just putting your own spin on it. Again, pretty simple, but I think when they're put next to other Halloween decorations, they're gonna look really great, hopefully. And then just a little Easter egg. 2 of them to be exact. Yeah, he's just, nope. No one will ever know. How would they know? I don't have much to say about all of this stuff. I'm surprisingly being quite nice to myself. I feel like everything kind of clicked together and looked just about how I wanted them to, which is very surprising and always really nice when that happens. Finally, the terrarium. This one's kind of hard to see if it's not in person. Here it is. I think this came out really, really stinking cute, and it was unbelievably easy. I think it took me all of maybe 30 minutes to put everything together. I cannot believe I found those little tombstones at the thrift store. I love a little diorama. Diorama? Definitely the first time that joke's ever been made. But yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of fun kind of putting together a little scene and adding the dirt plot, which wasn't part of my initial plans, but I just thought it needed something else other than just moss, you know? But yeah, ta-da! And with that, we are done. These are some of my favorite videos to make just because I really love doing projects where it's just broken down into a bunch of little parts and I can kind of bounce around carving this there. Oh, this is dry. Popping over here again. I really enjoy multitasking, so I like these kinds of projects. Things that aren't super overwhelming and are very easily tackled rather than just one giant project. I get to inflict my chaos upon it and rain down destruction. Wreck-It Rachel, that they call me on the streets. Okay, well, happy September. For the next few videos, I'm gonna kind of switch back into autumn versus Halloween mode and then get back into Halloween mode in October. I just wanted to get a head start on this, especially with this kind of stuff where if you did want to maybe try some of these, it's better to have this video out earlier rather than in October when you might not have time to do that. I'm off to finish everything I need to finish for DragonCon. I hope you guys liked watching. Look forward to some Halloween content. I have a whole playlist in case you wanna pregame. I also have a Patreon, $5 a month. Patreon.com/RachelMaksy. I have a few live streams planned, tons of extra content on there. In case you want to check that out, that's there. I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every other Friday and we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! It is that time. Whoa. Come on now. I see my little hummingbird friend. A little snack. There's a spider. Can I just relocate you over here? Yeah. You like that? It's just for you. Fucking frack. Move because it would ruin the transition.